Now, during term time, my next guest is the serious Miss Dixon, who teaches maths and science in an all-boys school in Dublin. But come the summer, she's hanging out with Hugh Hefner and his bunnies in the Playboy Mansion. Here to tell us all about her double life, please welcome Jenny Dixon. Jenny, Miss Dixon.
Thank you for having me on your show.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. So how does a nice girl like you end up in the Playboy Mansion?
A lucky turn of fate, I don't know. I just
Because
ended up in LA and
you're an unlikely candidate for it. Like, you're kind of a shy, nerdy, kind of into your science. And
yeah.
She was. You tell them you were, weren't you?
Yeah, that's correct. Science and maths and studied books and just that's all I did for years. And
then
yeah,
you went and worked in a lab for a while as well?
Yeah, environmental testing, soil and water samples. And I just worked there for about a year, and then I fell into teaching, and it was this dynamic environment that I loved and laughed every day. And
so was it teaching that started bringing you out of yourself then?
I guess so. Yeah. I guess I had to learn to come back fairly quick and
I can imagine,
join in the banter.
Yeah. And then, because you young guys smell weakness as well, don't they, lads? And like, yeah. And come here, then you, it was kind of, as always, with all great things that happen, people, it was a breakup with a boyfriend kind of really catapulted you into finding yourself, yes?
The old cliche.
Yes.
I suppose I was at a stage where I'd no other plan, and I'd always done a bit of modelling and acting, and I decided just to, I suppose, go for it a little bit more. So I signed up for some acting lessons, and I bought a ticket to LA, and then I ended up in LA. Yeah.
And there's not a lot of actors in LA, so it would have been an easy place to break through, wouldn't it? So I believe you initially, so you went off to LA on your own, which is a fair play to you, and I believe initially you kind of ended up living in a fairly rough kind of area and tough enough circumstances.
Yeah, a place called Inglewood, which kind of parallels with Compton. So
very good, right?
Yeah, I had a week in this hostel there, and I learned all kinds of new language, and I met these people with strange tattoos on their face, and apparently a tear for each person they had killed, and they were, you know.
These were the neighbours.
These were the neighbours.
Right. So then you met Ruth Derujinski, is that the right name?
Ruth Derujinski, yeah.
So tell us about Ruth.
I went onto Craigslist, as you do over there, and I had to quickly get out of Inglewood for fear of shootings and not surviving it. So I looked at four apartments in the West Hollywood area, which is an area that, if you want to act and model and do presenting work, is an area just you should be in.
Yeah.
And I suppose Ruth was the less crazy of the four. There was some crazy viewings, and Ruth was, I had some reservations because Ruth was in her 80s, you know, and
former supermodel, yes?
Former supermodel. All over her apartment was Bazaar, Harper, Vogue. She had like dozens of covers of magazines, and it wasn't until a few days later I asked her who this person on the wall was.
Nice.
As she had her medicinal marijuana and her glass of red wine each night, and she was
really,
like, they were all her covers, and she cursed like nobody ever met before, and there was like a crash course in a week of how to be tough in LA from this 80-year-old lady.
So then, and she kind of encouraged you then to, like a good science graduate, you sent your CV to the Playboy Mansion basically, and you got on the list to kind of start going to the parties and everything. And so you were invited to your first party, was the
Midsummer's Night Dream Ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me then, I presume like a good Irish girl out in America, you bought a new outfit for the party, did you?
Yeah, I think two actually.
You might get a new dress.
Yes. Yeah, the Midsummer's Night Dream Ball, it was kind of a case of getting your invite in and putting in some effort. The Playboy Mansion, I suppose, is somewhere, you know, you get to meet very talented, inspiring people. And
you still haven't told us what you wore to the party.
Okay. It was white and frilly. and
A white
glittery.
frilly dress? It sounds like a wedding dress.
A little bit shorter, I guess. Than,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
corsetry and all this.
Did you go in your knickers? That's what people want to know at home. Do you have to go in, do the women have to be in their knickers at these things?
It doesn't say you have to go in your knickers, no.
Right.
No. It says you can
But you
dress.
wouldn't be turning up in a
you can-
tracksuit like?
No, not a tracksuit either. No.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Right.
A nice balance in between.
And so what goes on at the parties then? Are they a lot?
It's great parties. There's no
Yeah.
need to bring a wallet. There's champagne.
Well, I can't
flowing
imagine where
and,
you put your wallet anyway,
Yeah.
really, but the sounds of things.
There's food and little tiers of handmade chocolates and cakes, and there's waiters, and there's, I don't know, great performers, Puff Daddy, and just like it's like a melting pot of all these fascinating people, where you just, the slightest
Wow,
bump off
yeah.
somebody, and it's. I'd seen him in a magazine there the previous week, or and then you're literally having a chat to these.
So full of celebrities, yes?
Yes.
Who did you meet?
People, I suppose, growing up, I would have just looked at and just,
Yeah.
a million miles away. Jamie Foxx, I had dinner beside him, and Sean Kingston, I danced on stage with him, and
Wow.
Simon Cowell was great. He was a
He's good.
softie.
Simon Cowell. So we've had two women on the show so far tonight, and Simon Cowell has cracked up to both of them. He's a hoot.
Perfect gentleman.
And come here, what did the folks back home think? So you said I'm going off to LA, become an actress, and then presumably you said to them, oh yeah, I'm hanging, because you started then regularly going to the parties, you're on the regular guest list. I'm hanging around now at the Playboy Mansion. Was your mother like, come home, you harlot? Or
No, I think my mother would be there if she could. I think she just goes with the flow, and she was laughing along with the whole craziness of it.
Yeah.
Like over there to me, it was just another day. It was another day of craziness. I was had to pinch myself several times. I'd be going to auditions. I got a part in a play over there that ran for 8 weeks, and I'd go to a red carpet event, and then I'd go to the Playboy Mansion on a Sunday to have lunch with about 6 of the girls I became very good friends with, and then the parties. There's no party like it,
I can imagine, yeah.
But it's another mansion party. There's many of them over there, and I was lucky enough to fall into the circle that allowed me to go there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what's Hef like?
He's lovely, charismatic, gentleman, generous.
He's clearly a very attractive man, because there's a lot of women hanging around. He's getting
it's the
married again,
charisma
yes?
to Crystal Harris, yeah, lovely girl.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
old is Crystal?
Crystal's 24.
And Hef is?
He's 80-something.
Wow,
Yeah.
good man. And do you think, is it true love?
I think there's a huge amount of tenderness between them. I think she really cares
I
for
bet
him.
there is.
They're very compatible. I think society.
They're compatible.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I think that the cynical view would be, that she might be after him for something sordid, like his few bob or something.
Yeah.
But I happen to have seen the nice, tender relationship between them, and
Really?
nobody else is in the room when they're together. So I think it's lovely. And why
Okay.
not?
I don't want to even think about there being other people in the room when they're together. So come here. Then, so you go out there for the summer, and you've gone out there again this summer. But you come back then, and you have to teach teenage boys who are, presumably, they're kind of a bit aware of what goes on, what Miss Dixon does during the summer and all that.
I do the school Christmas play with them, so they know I'm somewhat involved in acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sometimes would be intrigued as to how a science teacher is doing the Christmas play, and bringing in some directors and actors for them to audition for, and so yeah, it kind of flows on. And
But do they now know that you hang out in the Playboy Mansion in the summer?
I guess they do now.
Yeah, there's
I
going to be a bit of
guess they do,
slagging
yeah.
about that. And then, of course, you were on. Do we have the cover of your picture from the cover of the weekend magazine, The Irish Independent? That was last Saturday.
Yeah.
Have we got that picture there? Maybe we don't. There it is. So So that was on the cover of the Irish Independent magazine last Saturday. Did you have to go into school on Monday and
Yes.
teach the lads? Did they mention it or anything?
I think they're used to my madness at this stage. It's a mixture
Yeah.
of science and maths and acting and everything else thrown in, and so
Excellent.
it's just another day. It's just another day for me being a little bit crazy, I guess. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you very much.
Jenny Dixon.